right, we should be live. I got my little crazy hair going. Let's just check and see if we're looking and sounding good. Why is it not popping up that I'm live? YouTube, hello. Hello. Let's see if I'm live on Facebook. Okay, so today we're just going to get into just a few things on my mind. Okay, so Facebook says I'm live. YouTube does not say I'm live. What's the issue? What's the issue, Restream? Restream says I'm live. Weird. Okay, let's adjust the bit rate. I think 6,000 is good for this computer, probably. Okay, YouTube looks like it's live as well. Let's adjust the bit rate. Okay, it sounds pretty good, so I guess we'll hop straight into it. What's been on my mind lately is, first thing I'll bring up is Sneeko. So I don't know if you guys know, but Sneeko, Alex Jones, they had a debate, right? So let's get this on the computer. Mac OS audio capture, screen capture. I don't want to capture the whole screen. Media. No, it's not media. But anyhow, so I guess I'll just talk while I'm trying to get this up. So basically, oh, browser, is this it? No. Basically, Sneeko and Alex Jones gets in a debate, right? And, you know, I made a comment. It's like the perfect benchmark for America because, okay, I can't believe I can't get this to work. Mac OS screen capture. Window capture, here we are. Okay. There we go.
Watch this argument completely collapse.
I'm telling you that you are echoing the propaganda of the people that you pretend to be against.
I know. I knew all you would do is claim I'm echoing Zionist propaganda. I'm explaining something to you. I can be against a cobra. I don't want to be put in a cage with 10 cobras or 10 vipers. I don't want to be put in a cage with 10 water moccasins or rattlesnakes. So if Israel's a cobra and Islam is a viper, you're saying, oh, you're against a viper, so you're for the king cobra. And that is not. I am 100%. I did a 4-hour show today and spent 2 hours on Israel trying to take over our military and intelligence and being listed as the top national security. It's a false equivalency, apples and oranges, to say if I'm worried about expansionist Orthodox Islam, that then I'm covering Zionist propaganda. I'm saying Islam is a threat to the West, and so is the greater Israel.
You haven't had any.
Okay, so you get the idea. So let's see, how do we turn this? Yeah, okay. So basically, this is the debate, right? It's like Sneeko coming in and saying, Inshallah, the whole world will be Muslim. Let's show that one. Sneeko, Inshallah, the whole world, so on and so forth. Okay, let's turn this back on. So he said this at some, what was it? Was it a World Cup thing,
Inshallah,
right?
the whole world is Muslim. Inshallah means God willing. It's not a threat. I want the best for everybody in the world, and I want them to come to the truth. They're saying that you're threatening to take over and all this stuff. It's not a threat.
So here you can see on the bottom, he says, Inshallah, the whole world can be Muslim. Now, so he's like, it's not a threat, you know. He just wants everyone to be led to the truth, and that's great. But it's like, but the truth is still division, right? So it's not truth. There cannot be any division in the truth. So what is the truth that unites everything? It has to be syncretism. It has to be astrotheology. It has to be that knowledge that which stops all conflict from existing altogether. And so, you know, it makes you question, right? It's like, you know, Sneeko, it's good though. I like what he's doing in some sense. It's like half and half. It's always half and half with these guys, right? It's never the full truth where you get what you get with Jordan Maxwell or Santos Bonacci or, you know, so on and so forth. It's always half truths. So same with Alex Jones. He stands up for certain values, but still it's divisionist. It's still, you know, we can't have Muslims here. But at the same time, Sneeko, you know, when he says, Inshallah, the world will be Muslim, Inshallah, the world will be Muslim means, God willing, people will be led to the truth, which is their Muslim faith or whatever, right? So it's the same thing, just on opposing sides. So why are we still playing sides? It's the same thing with politics, right? Why are we still stuck on the polarity game? You know, haven't you had enough of it? Haven't you been, you know, taken around the hamster wheel over and over again, screwed in all different kinds of positions? What is this? Screwed in all different kinds of positions that you would have probably had enough of this by now? You know, that's the question, right? Here, let's just real quickly just check if we're doing good. You know, taking around the hamster wheel over. Okay, perfect. We're still going. So that's the point of contention that I have is, why are these people at the top? Are they being put there on purpose? They say things like, yeah, inshallah, the whole world will be Muslim. But the subtext behind that is, we're going to win. Our team's going to win. But that whole identity of my team versus your team is what's causing this mess. Nobody's saying, hey, humanity. You know, just like Bruce Lee said, I'm not Chinese. Don't call me this and that. I'm a human being first, you see? That should be the common decency. That should be the first thing on our minds, right? Is I'm a human being. And as a human being, what responsibility does that have? You know, and obviously now that responsibility has been cut down to degeneracy, right? And mixing up what men are with what women are, and what women are with what men are, and devaluing each other. And, you know, it's just a shit show. Really, that's what it's been boiled down to, a shit show. So that's the first thing I wanted to talk about today, was that Sneeko thing and the Alex Jones thing, and how any sensible mind can see through this whole religious division method. Doesn't mean that these religious texts don't have something that isn't worthwhile. You know, obviously there are amazing truths in these religious texts that one can learn from, and one, you know, most likely should learn from. You know, I mean, the only thing is like, if you're coming at it from a literal point of view, obviously, it's going to make you more dull. It's not going to sharpen you up. The point the thing you want with religion is, you want to be, it brings to mind what Krishnamurti was saying. Like, you want it to be something where it's like a absolute discipline. You know, to be like, for instance, when you love someone, it's like a religious love, like a pureness, an innocence. Not the kind of religion that we've turned into today, which is idol worship. It's the same as looking up to some big sports figure. You know, it's like, it's no longer about a real what do you call it? Journey of the soul and a questioning of what is the truth. It's more of just, I'm going to follow some doctrine and identify myself with it, and hopefully, other people will do the same. It's like a group think. It's no longer about an individual search. It's just so washed down, I guess, is what I'm trying to get at. So there's that. So yeah, if we just talk about the world stage, it seems as if they're just continually trying to mislead us with whatever avenue possible, which is actually why I'm going to do a talk with Chris Manley and Santos Bonacci on the 24th, because it's like, why don't we talk about the technology that's within the body? Why don't we talk about syncretic beliefs or knowing? You know, why don't we talk about Gnosticism? Why don't we talk about the origin of where these religions came from? Because if we go back far enough down that route, down that tunnel, you know, division is really a stupid thing to be doing. Like it's baffling that we're still on this division epoch. Like, shouldn't we be better than that? Shouldn't we be done with that by now? Like, it's amazing how that's still a thing. So now we go a little bit further on. And we'll go into, so what I want to start doing is reading some of my Telegram posts, because sometimes it's just very vague and people don't understand, so I want to go more into it. You know, when I get downloads, I want to be able to expand on those downloads, right? So here's one. Ooh, and I like how that whiteness is, there's more light. Okay, so the body, the cell, the Holy Land, the Promised Land. You know, the body is the Holy Land. And once we treat the cell correctly, the body will become the Promised Land. This is what I see with the diet. This is what I see with the breatharians and the soundness that they seem to have, the reasonable nature that they seem to possess, their poise, their composure, their absolute optimization, being who they were meant to be. That only comes when we really respect the body, when we respect ourselves, and obviously when we give ourselves that promise. Because, you know, these days, even me, I'm battling with cooked food still, you know. I mean, it's always been a thing where I go in, I come out. I go in, I come out. But these days, and actually I'm feeling this a little bit now, is I've been kind of learning to enjoy, I don't even want to say hunger, but you know, that the absence. And really what I think that is it's the cells beginning to rid themselves of waste. So really, the slight sense of hunger is when the cells begin to heal. This is, I think, what everyone wants to hide, because it's the most base setting that your body has, is healing, regeneration, and optimization. But constantly society wants to tell you that you have to eat, and cover up this problem and make it into a cancerous cell or some kind of a tumor or have lymphatic stagnation, instead of trying to get it out. Because that's sin and that's karma, right? Once you try to get sin and karma out, it's like all hell breaks loose. Because how could you try to reverse your problem, right? So it's like all the problems start piling on. Why? Because you've tried to attack the beast or the parasite or whatever you want to call it, really. I mean, they're just labels at the end of the day. But really what it is it's you. It's what you have associated yourself with and what you don't want to let go. So again, so if you let this go, then the promises come, because you've kept a promise, you've kept a discipline and a respect towards your own body. And largely I see my life as a calibration of this, because again, I'm still struggling now, but if you compare to 5 years back, I'm at the moon, you know. I'm way ahead of what I was before. But when I look at the autonomous and the breatharians, it's just not enough. Where I'm at, something is not fulfilling. Something is missing. I can now see it. I can feel it. You know, I've already felt it. And once the breatharians, once I, you know, listen to them, now I can really see, yeah, what I thought was confirmed. Now, let me just plug in my my charger here. How's that looking? Yeah, great. Good, good, good. So, yeah, I mean, we often always want to see Eden as our promised land outside, but more often than not, really that Eden is in here. It's inside. Because once we realize that we should treat the world as we treat ourselves, meaning there should be a basic level decency and respect to the world and to ourselves, things will manifest, things will act accordingly. Today I saw some trash on the beach, and we were at some dumb little cafe with my mom and her cousin and my mom's mom, grandma. And I just saw so much trash on the beach, and I'm just thinking to myself, we create so much trash. We've just become people of trash. We think trash, we eat trash, we believe in trash. And it's like, when do we all just let it go? And one thing that comes to mind immediately is hemp. If we used hemp plastic, if we used more reusable bags and packaging and all this kind of stuff, it's like the irony of taking water out of a coconut and putting it into a plastic piece of junk. So that in itself is a disrespect to one's body, because you're polluting the earth. And if you're polluting the earth, you're polluting your own body. And let's not get into this whole environmental arguments, right? It's not a pseudo moralism. It's we need to change the entire life structure of man, of how he prioritizes things. And we need to, dissolve the way he's been taught to live with all these petroleum products and this reliance on materialistic goods. And we can rely on material things for our material needs, but it's like, how do we use it in a respectful manner that isn't just advanced technology, advanced technology, advanced technology to the point we're killing ourselves? If we're really a smart race that can use advanced technology, we will do it in such a way where we don't have to kill ourselves. So that should be obvious. And so hence the body, the cell, and then the earth. So my whole thing now is cell, world, organism. The cell is the world is the cell. And it's one big organism. So really there's no separation between the cell and the body. It's throwing me off. Let's take, or maybe that'll do it. I don't know, it's kind of throwing me off. Anyway, so that's with the body and the cell and the Holy Land and the Promised Land. So yeah, we pretend to be pawns. I'm reading off my Telegram, by the way. Here, maybe I can show you guys here. Mac OS screen capture, okay. Window capture. Okay. Actually, I mean, it's just extra work. Let's just read it off. Okay. So we pretend to be pawns when we are the entire board. I'm just bored of people playing so small, and yeah, you should work hard, you should have a passion, you should do all these things, but the way we're doing it, something is just wrong. It's like we're playing like cockroaches, we're playing like parasites, we're playing so small. And of course it's a means to an end, right? Like if you have to make money at some job and support the empire in some way to be able to do something on your own, you got to do what you got to do, right? But when does the human race, when does the human body, right? I want to continue that symbology that your body is the world and the world is all of us. So when does the human race take care of its own body, right? And start playing as if they're the king of the board. The board being, because, really chess is really a game of oneself. It's a battle between one, and really a battle between one and oneself. So, you are the king, because obviously you can't lose your main principles, you can't lose your soul, your spirit, your ethic. But at the same time, you are the board, because how you play the game defines how the board will play out and how it's set. So not only are you one pawn piece, but you are all the pieces, and you are the environment in which the game is being played. So what that means is people are playing as if they're just such a one-dimensional being, when they're being on so many different levels. They have so much control over their lives, but they've limited themselves down to a capacity that's so meaningless. So, it makes you question, like, when will the nukes just go off and reset this whole thing? Because, I mean, of course, if there's any nukes at all, but you get the idea. It's like, sometimes you wonder, it's like, we're so far gone. Can this inner blast, this inner Big Bang happen such that all the people start to turn their heads? Who knows? Maybe, maybe not. When Tarzan drops the nuke, what was this nuke that I dropped? I don't remember.
Go to a damn church.
Okay. This is talking about the Elon Musk, becoming a trillionaire in his asset value, and Mr. Beast having 500 million subs at the same day. I mean, you can't make this stuff up with the Matrix. Like, those two feats, trillionaire and 500 million subs, the exact same day. It's like the Matrix is blasting at you, like, follow us, we are the way, just be led by the zombie train, like, it's just, you gotta be able to see through it, Yeah, Allah or God is the same thing. Again, what we're talking about with the Alex Jones and the Sneeko debate, it's like, really, they're debating about nothing, and we're all just wasting time. Why don't we talk about the root? Why don't we talk about the etymological, the etymological, right? Why don't we talk about Eden? Why don't we talk about the base settings of this game that we're playing called society or life? Maybe there's not enough introspection being done. And it's hard to be an introspective soul. I mean, you have to place yourself in a really good way to be able to sustain yourself monetarily. I'm having a lot of trouble with it too, even, getting injured and all this stuff. Not the best time. But yeah, it's very tough to be introspective when they've got you in the hamster wheel of making money, trying to make a name for yourself, making money, trying to make a name for yourself, and then you end up spending your whole life doing things that you don't want to do. So it seems like once they get you in that trap, it's really easy, because you're already so identified with so many things you have to defend. It's really easy to identify yourself with the likes of Sneeko or the likes of Alex Jones, which I have done. A lot of the things Alex Jones said woke me up in the beginning. Obviously, there's a lot of misleading happening too, so you have to have discernment and be led to the right path. A lot of the things Sneeko says is pretty reasonable too, but from like people like Zerka Official and stuff like that, that he's not who necessarily he poses to be, and it's a lot of posing, right? And you can't blame him. He's gathering all the likes from the masses and stuff, so playing a role, obviously. But what I'm saying is, it's like, why doesn't he talk to me? Why doesn't he talk to our side? It's not even a side. Why doesn't he talk to the people on no side? You know what I mean? Not that we've removed ourselves from the battle between good or light, but it's like, or good light and bad and darkness, but it's like, why doesn't he talk about the root values? Because then exponentially you would be able to wake people up, because they would come back to the same conclusion, which is truth, really. Is truth. You can't really veer off and say this is true here and that's true here. In most cases, truth is true on all levels. So it's really hard to run from it once you bring it out, which is why it's possibly part of the reason why these people want to stray away from it. But again, the truth is pretty much the only interesting thing. I mean, you could be interested in a lie, but after a while it just gets boring, right? So eventually they have to come to our side, which is, you know, higher forms of living, autonomous living kind of a thing, and then higher forms of knowledge, of knowing thyself, which is what humanity has gone through, the troubles, and where the liberation may come now that it has gone through these things. So that's the question. You know, I could also spread this link. I should probably do a better job of that. Let's spread it. Let's put it on Telegram for now, just because I'm reading through Telegram. Okay. So yeah, walk the path of the masses only if to deliver a message. It's really easy to follow what other people are doing, right? To kind of associate with them, to blend in, to be a chameleon. But do it with a purpose, right? Why would we just do what other people are doing for the sake of what other people are doing and just doing it? You know, you probably should be doing those things for a certain time period, for a certain objective, eventually to get out of doing it. It's just like working a job in the Matrix. It's like, most likely you should be aiming somewhere outside of the Matrix. You should be aiming to build up something real in this fleeting world, right? Whether it's in the spiritual knowledge, the gifts, you know, real freedom, right? To not be tied down to anything, or a settlement, if you will, right? Which a lot of these breatharians and people of our, you know, type, you know, fruitarians and stuff want, because we want community, we want something real where it's true family, and then the memories are more significant than if you're just going to a bar or going to a park or going to a festival, because a lot of these things are just such fleeting experiences. They hold no value. It's just a dopamine spike. It's like taking a hit out of a cigarette or a e-vape. It's burning up your brain. So it's like you have no time for your real life, like the laughs, the moments you spend together, the moments you spend alone, the thoughts, the real sadness, the real happiness, not just this dopamine rush, instant gratification world that we're living in today, right? So again, go where the masses are when you need to do something, like when you need to get something from the masses, or you know what I mean. You know, it's like the masses will never have the answer. Rarely. If the masses have the answer, that's an enlightened world, right? But yeah, so use it. So like, it's like right now, that's why I'm considering, it's like I have love to spread. I have a message to spread, you know, Operation Lighthouse, Edenology. I value others, but at the same time, I got to do what I got to do, you know? And that's why, again, it's like, if you respect yourself, then you will respect the other, and which doesn't necessarily mean you just bow down to them and you just do whatever they want you to do. That's the easiest way to be taken advantage of, right? Especially in relationships. So what that respect means is you're willing to cooperate and do things with other people, but you're not going to sell out. You're not going to sell out to your own self of what you know to be true deep down. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty self-explanatory. So yeah, so I said, walk the path of the masses when you have a message to deliver. Because you want to get the message out to the masses, and then once it gets too much, I mean, if you can stay there. If you can have your own Eden, peaceful, composed, poised state while constantly interacting with the masses and going into the, you know, hell, basically, the inferno, the dungeon. If you can stay in that city dungeon for a while and have no effect, and it has no effect on you, by all means, keep delivering the message. But chances are, it's probably not the best way, because, you know, we come from nature. So it's probably better if we remove ourselves from the artificial world from time to time, just to take a breather, you know, just to let the cells reset. So yeah, so I got a message from Binance saying how your Binance US account has been inactive for multiple years and is now considered dormant by your state. Your state unclaimed property law requires Binance US to transfer dormant property to the state if the property is not claimed by the owner. So Big Brother says you have not been using your Binance account. Therefore, the Binance policy states we can take your money. So people who've lost their crypto wallets, that's an easy way to just snatch up all their crypto, right? So again, crypto, so either the biggest wealth transfer to the common man or an even bigger scheme to completely destroy man's own labor, how do you say, his own value for his labor, you know, his own ability as an individual to make a worth for himself, you know. So perhaps this crypto thing is a thing against the central banks, but again, I'm real skeptical. I'm not even sure if it's as good as it's being made out to seem by the young people. So I'm skeptical, right? I'm out of all crypto now. I mean, for me, the most real valuable thing is land with fruit trees on it, is love in your heart, right? Is the ability to have peace with yourself and others, and community. Is to be able to share these amazing fruits and maybe a roof over your head. I mean, other than that, the only other thing you would probably need is art, the ability to create things. And right now we need money for many of, if not all of those things, probably minus the love. So you got to do what you got to do. But the point is that I think they make us focus so much on the money side of things, right? So crypto, stocks, whatever, assets, it's like, that's all fine and dandy, but can we be real human beings first before we mix ourselves with all these things? You know, it's just a consideration. By the way, I love doing the live because then I don't have to edit over and over again all these dumb things. So yeah, it's the simple things. I have a picture of a coconut. It's the simple things in life that make life worthwhile. You know, like, why do you want to live? When I go up a coconut tree and I get my own food from this thing that's growing out of the earth like a filter straw, and it's just pure water, just pure energy, pure electricity, pure light. That's what gets me going. You know? It's the simple things. You know, it's the simple smiles you exchange with other people. You know, maybe when someone else has an embarrassing moment and two other people look at each other and just smile. It's like we both know, ha ha ha, you know? I think it's those moments that are the most pure and the most blessed. And a lot of people don't even have time to just look at into each other's eyes and just laugh and share a moment of fun or whatever it is. It's also these phones, guys. Oh my gosh, the phones, as much as it brings us all this attention and all this good information, it's taking away from our lives too. It's just making us so phony. Must be some connection there. I want to go to etymology and search up phony. See, this is going to be a free throw. What is phony? Where does this phony come from? Also phony, not genuine. Perfect. Also perhaps an alteration of phony. It's not very descriptive. ring, funny Irish ring, finger ring. But anyway, not genuine, you know? Hold on. I had to fart for a second. I didn't want you guys to be included in that. Okay, let's see. What's next? Man, I didn't even have time to digest all the lives we did on the breatharian stuff. I haven't even been able to like look through it, you know, and because we were running it, I barely even had time to listen in. Yikes. It is what it is. He who understands one cell understands the universe in its entirety. Again, we come back to the core message of Corean Tarzan is one cell is the answer. Really. Because if you can handle one cell, you can handle everything. If you could really be in full control of each cell in your body, that's the same thing as being able to be in control of Earth. And this word control we have to be careful with, obviously. You know, it's a flow. It's a freedom. Not being bound to any desire or any need, any weight, anything that holds you down, any darkness, but being able to bring light into the cell at will. Perhaps no will, but you get what I mean. To be able to shine. So when one cell is illuminated, the whole world is illuminated, right? Because the world is contained in the cell. It's a cell earth, a cellular earth. I hope you can understand the concavity of all this. So again, if you understand the mechanics of one cell, by virtue of understanding that one fractal little piece, the whole puzzle piece is in your hands. How could it not be in your hands? The universe. The verse in one cell, that DNA in one cell, that information, that Dan, the Eden, the Adam, the atom, right? Once you understand the one atom, they're the same word. Tom means two, or to cut, right? A means not, so not cut is one, it's one whole. When you understand the whole one atom, cell, when you understand the whole, that is the uni, that's the one verse, the whole verse, the universe. So that's the message of the Corean Tarzan, or all one, only one, also known as Eugene sometimes. Jesus Christ, like the sun, not a man, but a never-ending light. The way, the truth, the life, to give us what is ours. And I spelled hours like the hours in a day, because the sun gives us everything that we have in front of us, and even the time. Imagine that. It gives us all the material pleasures that we want, or it gives life to the material pleasures. Perhaps Saturn is giving the material, but what gives life to the material is the sun. What gives light to the material is the sun. The light and the life given by the sun is what we consume, is what sustains us, it's what gives us energy, and it gives us time. Hours in a day kept by the sun. Also Saturn too. But without the sun, how could we tell what hour it was? Without that straight, narrow, and true basis to all of life, that is the Jesus Christ, that is the sun, people. And it's in you, if you know the cell. If you know the cell, you know that sun is walking its path of resurrection in your cell every day, every 7 days, every 63 days, whatever they want to say. The fact that your cells are going and not just dying instantly and something is happening within you, that's the power of the sun, that's the power of Christ. So let's not mix it up with any idol. The power of consciousness. So if Jesus existed, again, he led us to Christ. That's one of my most recent videos that I edited for Santos, is if Jesus was real, it could be, it could not. There's a lot of, similarities between Jesus and Julius Caesar, and a lot of holy spots, shall we say, of Julius Caesar's story as well. So it could have been a man that walked the earth, but more importantly, he led us to the sun that's in the sky, the heavenly knowledge, the heavenly wisdom, that which will, cause you to ascend. A never-ending light, not a man. But perhaps that never-ending light was in the man. So, it could go both ways, but let's not get so caught up in it where we get so rigid, and then you can feel this rigidity in people who say they are, Christ is king and all this kind of stuff. You're saying this, but I don't feel any life in this. It just feels like a mantra all over again. It just feels like what the monks at the Buddhist temple shaving their head are repeating over and over and over, and they want to attain something while pretending like they don't want to attain something. It's like the same thing. Repetition is really a poison. It's a violent act against the mind, against the life. Material things, many things need to be repeated, but a spiritual truth does not need to be repeated, because it should be the now, which is not a repetition of the past. It's something always creating, always new. It should be present. It should be a gift. So when people just repeat these mantras, it doesn't feel like a gift. It feels like a drag. It's like, ugh, this again, It's like, what about something? Give me something more. Give me something real, something tangible, something in your life, not just leaning on a text or leaning on an idol, Muhammad, Jesus, whatever it is. Give me you. Who are you? I want to know the individual and the Son, the Christ that's in you. Not what you heard from someone else, or, it's like, give me some authenticity, give me something real. Everyone is so fake in this world, So if I am the cell, I am nuclear. I think we should end on that. I know we didn't go too long. It looks like 42 minutes. This is a decent amount of time, but we'll do longer ones in the future. But if I am the cell, then I am nuclear. So what does that mean? That means if I am, and the I am, so if I am the being, and that being is conducted by these cells, so each one of these cells is me, and that is the being that is, the me that is. And each cell has a nucleus. Each cell is nuclear. And that's a nuclear message. It means that there's that level of nuclear power, generation, information, creation. So really a godlike power in each cell. An atomic truth, an atomic reality. Each atom is nuclear. There's a nucleus, and we are comprised of nuclear reactions, nuclear composites. We're constituted by a nuclear truth. So when will we be new and clear about this reality that we are living in, this atomic reality, where all is one, where all is not cut. It's all continuous, just like this current state, this current moment, this current being. So can we bring that in? I mean, obviously, if it's coming in, it's probably not being brought by anyone or any identity or association. But again, can each cell embody this new and clear frequency? This nuclear reality? this nuclear truth. And that nuclear truth, okay, we'll end on this. If one does not know oneself, how can one begin to fathom the cell world universe? This is the final boss. And I don't mind if people flock away, because I'm glad I found it. I'm glad I found the truth. But at the same time, I want to be able to share it with everyone. So that's why I'm here. That's why I'm streaming. That's why I'm making videos. This is the final boss. Is the world is the cell. The universe is the cell. Which means... whoops. I'm about to end. 1 second. Calm down, Eugene. Which means it's all one. It's all connected. And whenever we feel these sense of division, whether it's through the media, politics, conflicts within the family, conflicts within oneself, it's all so elusive. It's all so made up. So can we begin to fathom that? Because think about it, if you can begin to fathom that all conflict is made up, where would that take humanity? If we could realize that all this conflict that we're making is pointless, that would be another level of life. Once we realize that because the world is the cell and the cell is the universe, so the world is me, that I am the world, right? I am the people next to me. I am the grass, I am the tree. I am the so-called concepts that we've created, and I am also none of these concepts. I am a state that's absolutely pure from these concepts. If we can realize and fathom that we are all of it, that's the finale, that's the beginning, and that's the end. Because yeah, I'm going through my life and I'm having these episodes and these dramatic reactive moments, but behind it all, there's an understanding that I am, that you are. You are me, I am you. But let's not make this a concept, right? Let's actually feel this. What does that mean? What does that mean if one cell in your body is the entire universe? What does that mean in your life? What does that mean when we realize conflict is just an illusion? It's just a game. What happens when you can put down the game? What's the next step? That's my question. And that's why I wonder for humanity, like, where are we going? Are we just going to keep going in circles? In a dissension spiral? Or can we go into a ascension spiral and get out of this mess? Because it could only take a second, If tomorrow people could all just connect and realize it's all such BS, the mess that we're creating in this world. And if we just realize that, we'd have so much joy and love for each other. And that's the final boss. If you can figure that one out, you figured it all out, right? I mean, now we just have to focus on the basics, the simple stuff, and do the simple stuff right, and then we can add on later and do all that extra shit that humans like to do. Yeah, that's about it from me. You are the cell, you are the universe. Thank you for watching.